Millions of people wake up every day feeling like something is wrong with their body, but they cannot figure out what it is. They feel tired even after sleeping for hours. Their weight changes without any obvious reason. Their hair starts falling more than usual. Their mood feels different. Their mind feels slower. And when they go for a checkup, they are often told that everything looks normal. But what if the problem is not something obvious? What if the reason behind these changes is connected to a tiny gland in your neck that controls some of the most important functions in your body? This small, butterfly-shaped gland is your thyroid. It may be small, but its influence is enormous. It helps regulate your energy, metabolism, body temperature, digestion, mood, and even your reproductive health. When your own immune system mistakenly attacks this gland, it can lead to a condition called Hashimoto's disease. The frightening part about Hashimoto's is that it usually does not appear overnight. It often develops slowly. The symptoms can be so common that people mistake them for stress, aging, a busy lifestyle, or simply normal changes that happen with time. That is why many people live with these warning signs for months or even years before discovering what is actually happening inside their bodies. In this video, we are going to look at the important signs that your thyroid may be struggling. Some of these symptoms are well known, while others are often ignored because they seem unrelated. The key is not to panic because one symptom does not automatically mean you have Hashimoto's. Many different conditions can cause similar problems. But when several signs appear together, your body may be trying to tell you something important. The first major sign is one that many people experience but rarely take seriously: constant exhaustion. Everyone feels tired sometimes. A stressful week, a poor night of sleep, or a demanding schedule can drain your energy. But Hashimoto's fatigue feels different. It is not simply feeling sleepy. It is a deep exhaustion that follows you throughout the day. You may wake up after getting enough rest and still feel like your battery never fully charged. You might struggle to complete normal tasks. Things that used to feel easy may suddenly require much more effort. Concentrating at work, exercising, cooking a meal, or even having a long conversation can feel strangely exhausting. Many people try to push through it. They drink more coffee. They sleep longer on weekends. They tell themselves they just need to work harder or manage their time better. But if the problem is related to low thyroid function, the issue is not a lack of motivation. The thyroid plays a major role in controlling metabolism, which is the process your body uses to convert food into energy. When thyroid hormone levels become too low, your body's systems begin slowing down. It is almost like your body's internal engine has shifted into a lower gear. You may still be moving, but everything requires more effort. This is why unexplained fatigue can be one of the earliest clues that something is happening with your thyroid. The second sign is unexplained weight gain. Few things are more frustrating than seeing your weight increase when your habits have not changed. You may be eating the same foods. You may be exercising the same amount. You may feel like you are doing everything you normally do, yet the number on the scale keeps moving upward. Many people immediately blame themselves. They think they are not disciplined enough. They believe they need stricter diets or harder workouts. But your thyroid has a powerful influence on how quickly your body uses energy. When thyroid hormone levels drop, your metabolism can slow down. Your body may burn fewer calories than before, even when your daily routine remains the same. Another reason for weight changes is that low thyroid function can cause your body to hold on to more salt and water, creating additional weight that is not simply related to fat gain. This is why some people find that traditional weight loss methods suddenly become much harder. The important word here is unexplained. If your lifestyle has stayed consistent, but your body is changing in ways you cannot understand, it is worth paying attention. The third sign is feeling unusually cold. Have you ever noticed that everyone around you seems comfortable, but you are reaching for a sweater? Maybe your hands feel cold. Your feet never seem to warm up. You find yourself turning up the heat while others are completely fine. This can happen because thyroid hormones help regulate your body temperature. Your metabolism creates energy, and one result of that process is heat production. When your thyroid slows down, your body may produce less heat, making you feel colder than usual. At first, this seems like a small inconvenience. You may think, I have always been someone who gets cold easily. But the important question is whether this is new. A sudden change in how your body handles temperature can be a clue. And when feeling cold appears together with fatigue and weight changes, the pattern becomes more meaningful. The fourth sign involves your digestion. Constipation is not a topic most people enjoy discussing, but it is an important symptom that should not be ignored. Your thyroid affects more than your energy levels. It also influences how your digestive system works. When thyroid hormones are low, the movement of your intestines can slow down. Food and waste may move through your digestive system more slowly, leading to constipation, bloating, and discomfort. Many people assume the cause is their diet. They blame not drinking enough water. They blame stress. They blame a lack of fiber. Sometimes those things are responsible. But if constipation continues despite making healthy changes, it may be another sign that something deeper is happening. The body does not operate as separate systems. A problem affecting one area can create symptoms in many others. And this brings us to another clue that often appears on the outside of the body: your skin. Dry, rough, or unusually dull skin can be another sign connected to low thyroid function. Your skin is constantly renewing itself. New cells replace old ones every day. Thyroid hormones help support that process. When hormone levels are low, skin renewal can slow down. Your skin may lose moisture more easily, becoming dry, rough, or less smooth than before. Many people try different creams, lotions, and skincare products hoping to fix the problem. But sometimes the issue is not what you are putting on your skin. Sometimes it is what is happening inside your body. If your skin has changed noticeably and you cannot find a clear explanation, it may be another piece of the puzzle. And there is another change that many people notice when looking in the mirror or brushing their hair: hair loss. Hair changes can be one of the most emotionally difficult symptoms of thyroid problems. Seeing more hair than usual in your brush or shower drain can be frightening. Your hair grows in cycles. Some hairs are actively growing, while others are resting before eventually falling out. Thyroid hormones help regulate these cycles. When thyroid levels become too low, more hair follicles may enter the resting phase at the same time. The result? More shedding, thinner hair, a change in texture. Some people notice thinning across the scalp. Others notice changes in their eyebrows. Because hair loss can happen for many different reasons, people often search for solutions in the wrong places. They change shampoos, they buy supplements, they try countless products. But if the underlying issue is related to thyroid function, those solutions may not address the real cause. The body often gives us clues long before we understand what they mean. A tired body, a changing metabolism, feeling cold, digestive changes, dry skin, hair problems. Each symptom alone may seem easy to explain away, but when several appear together, they create a pattern. And that pattern may be the most important clue of all, because Hashimoto's does not always announce itself with one dramatic warning sign. Instead, it quietly leaves small signals throughout the body. And in the next part, we will continue exploring the remaining signs that many people overlook, including changes in muscles, joints, mood, hormones, and the one visible symptom you can check for yourself. The human body is constantly communicating with us. The problem is that it rarely speaks in obvious ways. Instead of sending a loud warning, it often sends small signals that are easy to ignore. A little more tired than usual, a little more forgetful, a little more uncomfortable, a little different from how you used to feel. And because these changes happen slowly, many people simply adapt to them. They accept feeling exhausted as normal. They accept unexplained changes as part of getting older. They accept discomfort because they assume everyone experiences the same thing. But sometimes these small changes are not random. Sometimes they are connected, and when it comes to Hashimoto's disease, understanding the pattern can make all the difference. We already talked about some of the common signs, including extreme fatigue, unexpected weight changes, feeling unusually cold, digestive problems, dry skin, and hair changes. But there are other symptoms that are just as important and often even more confusing. One of them affects something that helps you move through life every single day: your muscles. When thyroid hormone levels are low, your muscles may not work the way they should. You may notice that your body feels weaker than before. Tasks that used to feel simple may suddenly require more effort. Carrying groceries, walking upstairs, standing for long periods, even getting through normal physical activities can start feeling harder. Some people describe a heavy feeling in their arms and legs. Others experience muscle aches, stiffness, or cramps that seem to appear without a clear reason. At first, it is easy to blame exercise. Maybe you think you pushed yourself too hard. Maybe you assume you are simply getting older. Maybe you believe your body just needs more rest. But thyroid hormones play a role in how your muscles create energy and repair themselves. When those hormone levels drop, your muscles may become less efficient. The result can be weakness, soreness, and a feeling that your body is not responding the way it used to. The important thing to remember is that muscle symptoms rarely appear alone. They often come with other clues. A person who feels weak, constantly tired, unusually cold, and notices weight changes may be seeing a much bigger picture. And sometimes the discomfort does not stop with the muscles. It moves into the joints. Joint pain is another symptom that can be difficult to understand because there are so many possible causes. Many people experience stiffness or aching in their hands, knees, shoulders, or other joints and immediately assume it is normal wear and tear. They think it is because of age. They think it is because they were physically active. They think it is something they simply have to live with. But thyroid problems can also affect the tissues around your joints and contribute to discomfort. And there is another important connection. Hashimoto's is an autoimmune condition. That means the immune system, which normally protects your body from threats, mistakenly attacks healthy tissue. People with one autoimmune condition can sometimes have a higher chance of developing other autoimmune problems. This is why unexplained joint pain, especially when combined with other symptoms, deserves attention. Your joints may not be the main problem. They may be another message from your body pointing towards something happening underneath. Another sign that many people overlook happens inside the mind. Brain fog, mood changes, a feeling that you are not completely yourself. Have you ever walked into a room and forgotten why you went there? Have you struggled to find the right words during a conversation? Have you felt mentally slower than before? Everyone experiences moments like this. Stress, lack of sleep, and busy schedules can affect concentration. But some people with thyroid problems describe a constant mental cloudiness that does not seem to disappear. They feel like their thoughts are moving through fog. Simple decisions become harder. Remembering details takes more effort. Staying focused becomes a daily challenge. This can be incredibly frustrating because the person may feel like their personality has changed. They may become less productive. They may lose confidence. They may wonder why their brain does not work the way it used to. Thyroid hormones influence many functions in the brain, including mood, memory, and concentration. When these hormone levels become too low, the effects can extend beyond the body and into emotional well-being. Some people experience sadness, low motivation, or feelings of depression. And this is where things can become complicated. A person may seek help only for their mood. They may focus entirely on stress or emotional health. Meanwhile, the thyroid issue may remain unnoticed. This does not mean every mood problem is caused by thyroid disease. Mental health is complex and can have many causes. But when emotional changes appear alongside physical symptoms, looking at the whole picture becomes important. Another major area affected by thyroid function is the reproductive system. For many women, changes in their menstrual cycle can be an important clue. The thyroid does not work separately from the rest of the body. It interacts with the hormones that regulate reproduction. When thyroid hormone levels become abnormal, menstrual patterns can change. Some women notice heavier bleeding. Some experience irregular cycles. Others notice that their periods become different from what they were before. These changes can be subtle. A person may think it is stress. They may think it is a temporary hormonal fluctuation. They may wait for things to return to normal. But ongoing changes deserve attention. The thyroid can also play a role in fertility. For women who are trying to become pregnant and experiencing unexplained difficulties, thyroid function is often one of the areas doctors evaluate. The reason is simple. Hormones need balance. And when one important hormone system is disrupted, others can be affected as well. Your body is like a connected network. A problem in one area can create effects somewhere completely unexpected. This is why symptoms that seem unrelated may actually share the same source. A tired person with hair loss may not immediately think about their thyroid. Someone with mood changes and weight gain may not connect those things together. Someone with irregular periods and low energy may search for answers in many different places. But sometimes, the missing piece is understanding how the thyroid influences the entire body. There is also one symptom that is much easier to notice because it involves a visible physical change: a swelling in the neck. The thyroid gland sits at the front of your neck. In some people with Hashimoto's disease, the thyroid can become enlarged. This enlargement is called a goiter. It may appear as fullness or swelling around the lower part of the neck. Some people notice it when looking in the mirror. Others notice a strange feeling of pressure or tightness. In some cases, a larger thyroid can make swallowing feel uncomfortable or create a sensation that something is stuck in the throat. The reason this can happen is because the thyroid is being affected over time. As the gland struggles to maintain normal hormone production, the body continues sending signals asking it to work harder. This increased effort can sometimes cause the thyroid to grow larger. The surprising thing is that many people ignore visible changes. They see a slight difference but assume it is nothing. They wait. They hope it disappears. But your body's appearance can sometimes reveal what is happening internally. A change you can see in the mirror may be a clue worth discussing with a healthcare professional. Now, after hearing about all these symptoms, one important question remains. How do you know if these signs are actually connected to Hashimoto's? The answer is that symptoms alone cannot confirm the condition. A person can have fatigue, weight changes, hair loss, or mood changes for many different reasons. That is why proper testing matters. Doctors usually look at thyroid hormone levels and may check for certain antibodies that indicate an autoimmune attack on the thyroid. The goal is not to create fear. The goal is awareness. Because many people spend years searching for answers without realizing their symptoms may be connected. The body often gives clues before a diagnosis is made. The challenge is learning how to recognize those clues. The most important thing to understand about Hashimoto's disease is that it rarely announces itself in a dramatic way. There is usually no single moment where everything suddenly becomes obvious. Instead, it often develops quietly. One small change appears, then another, then another. A little less energy, a little more weight, a little more difficulty concentrating, a little more sensitivity to cold. And because each symptom seems ordinary by itself, people often fail to connect the dots. That is what makes Hashimoto's so difficult to recognize. The symptoms can look like everyday life. They can look like stress. They can look like a busy schedule. They can look like normal aging. But when multiple signs appear together and continue over time, they may be telling a much bigger story. Think about how the body works. Your thyroid may be a small gland, but it influences many systems throughout your body. It affects how quickly you use energy, how warm you feel, how your digestion works, how your muscles function, how your brain processes information, how your hormones stay balanced. So when thyroid function becomes disrupted, the effects can appear in places that seem completely unrelated. That is why someone may focus only on their hair loss and never think about their thyroid. Someone else may focus only on weight gain and assume they need a stricter diet. Another person may focus only on feeling mentally exhausted and blame stress. But sometimes these symptoms are connected. They are different pieces of the same puzzle. One of the biggest reasons Hashimoto's is missed is because people often wait for a major warning sign. They expect something obvious, something impossible to ignore. But many health conditions do not work that way. The body often whispers before it screams. It gives small signals first. The challenge is learning to pay attention. If you recognize several symptoms from this video, it does not mean you definitely have Hashimoto's. There are many possible explanations for fatigue, weight changes, hair loss, mood changes, and other symptoms. That is why self-diagnosis is not the answer. The right approach is understanding your body, noticing changes, and discussing concerns with a qualified healthcare professional. Testing is the only way to properly evaluate whether your thyroid is working normally. Doctors can check thyroid hormone levels through blood tests and may also look for antibodies connected with autoimmune thyroid disease. These tests help create a clearer picture of what is happening inside your body. And there is something important many people do not realize. Finding the problem is often the turning point. For years, some people blame themselves for symptoms they cannot control. They think they are lazy because they feel tired. They think they lack discipline because their weight changes. They think they are becoming forgetful because they cannot focus. But understanding the possible cause can change everything. When the thyroid issue is identified and properly managed, many people notice improvements in their energy, mood, and overall quality of life. The goal is not to become afraid of every symptom. The goal is to become aware. Your body is constantly giving you information. Learning to listen to it is one of the most valuable things you can do. Let's quickly bring together the signs we discussed. The first major clue is extreme fatigue that does not improve even after proper rest. The second is unexplained weight gain despite no major lifestyle changes. The third is feeling colder than everyone else around you. The fourth is constipation or a slower digestive system. The fifth is dry, rough, or changing skin. The sixth is hair thinning or increased hair loss. The seventh is muscle weakness, stiffness, pain, or cramps. The eighth is unexplained joint discomfort. The ninth is brain fog, memory problems, low mood, or changes in concentration. The 10th is menstrual changes or difficulty with fertility. And the 11th is swelling or fullness in the front of the neck. One symptom alone may not tell you much, but several symptoms appearing together create a pattern, and patterns are where important discoveries often begin. Imagine someone who has spent years feeling exhausted. They try sleeping more, they try changing their diet, they try pushing themselves harder, but nothing really explains why they never feel like themselves. Then they notice their hair is thinning, their body feels colder, their weight has changed, their mood feels different. Suddenly, those separate problems start looking connected. That moment of understanding can be powerful, because knowing what questions to ask is the first step toward finding answers. Your health is not just about numbers on a report. It is also about how you feel every day, how much energy you have, how your body responds, how different you feel compared to the person you used to be. If something has changed and it does not feel right, it deserves attention. Not panic, not fear, just attention. Because ignoring your body's signals for years can make it harder to understand what is happening. But noticing those signals gives you the opportunity to take action. Hashimoto's disease is a reminder that the smallest parts of the body can have enormous influence. A gland you rarely think about can affect your entire life. And sometimes the answer to a long-standing mystery begins by looking at the clues that were there all along. So if you have been experiencing symptoms that do not have an obvious explanation, consider having an honest conversation with a healthcare professional. Ask questions. Share what has changed. Do not ignore patterns that keep repeating. Your body is not trying to make your life difficult. It is trying to communicate, and learning that language can help you make better decisions about your health. If this video helped you understand Hashimoto's disease and the signs your body may be showing, share your thoughts in the comments. Have you experienced any of these symptoms yourself, or do you know someone who has? Your experience may help someone else realize they are not alone and encourage them to seek the answers they need. If you found this information valuable, consider liking the video and subscribing for more content that helps you understand your health better. Remember, awareness is often the first step toward action. Listen to your body, pay attention to the changes, and never be afraid to ask questions about your own health, because sometimes the smallest clues can lead to the biggest discoveries.